Hi everyone, it's the weekend, and yes, that means it's time for another weekend Q&A session. Absolutely love doing these videos, but I'll give you a little bit of an update about what I've got planned for my weekend. Now, it's sunny outside. It's been very bad weather for the last few weeks. So my plan is to actually pick up my camera and get out and take some photos. That's going to be my leisure time activity, and then there's of course entertaining the kids, cooking, cleaning, tidying up, all those normal things that you catch up on at the weekend. So without further ado, I'm going to get on with some questions, but before I do, I'll just let you know how you can ask questions. Now, you can of course leave me a comment in the comment section below, but the best method is to actually tweet me the questions at Geekanoids and use the hashtag GeekQA. Now, I'm also running a Patreon campaign at patreon.com/Geekanoids. If you're a patron, then you get question priority. You can leave it in the activity feed there. And then if you want to shout out, perhaps some promotion for your website or your YouTube channel or your Twitter, then there is a link in the video description of how you can do a donation request. So anyway, let's get on with the questions, and I've got plenty to go through. So here we go. The first one is from Adam Walker. Hey Dave, can you do a what's on your iPad, iPhone video please? Thanks. Well, yeah, I will do one of those. I'll plan to do it in the next sort of 2-3 weeks. I've just got so many review products to go through and so much geeky info to share with you that it certainly takes a little while to get these videos planned in. I've done them before and I thoroughly enjoy sharing with you what's on my iPhone and of course my iPad, so that will come soon to the channel. Gina, Michael, hi Gina. What's your favourite iPhone 5S case? Well, it has to be this one, and it's the Neo Hybrid. Still rocking the Neo Hybrid from Spigen SGP. Really nice case, and I just really like it. That's why it stayed on my iPhone. Next question is from Martin Fluke. Hi Martin. We know a little bit about your personal life, but what about your favourite TV shows, movies, geeky stuff? What do you watch? That is a great question. I watch a fair amount of television. I think my sort of favourite TV programmes are things like Top Gear, Dragon's Den, I really do like that. I like The Apprentice when that's on as well. And I like sort of discussion programmes as well, where people are debating things. That really sort of gets me thinking about how the world's changing. With regards to movies, probably things like The Matrix, that sort of movie, that really interests me. And the geeky stuff, well, you shouldn't have asked that because you get to see that pretty much every day. I love anything sort of geeky and techie, as you well know. Brilliant question though, thank you very much for that. Next one is from Snazzy Gadget Labs. Dave, I want to start on YouTube but don't have the equipment. I would like to know, how can I set up a campaign on Indiegogo? That is a very difficult question. My belief is that if you're doing something on Indiegogo, you need to be able to offer something back. So I don't think it would be a very wise idea just to put a campaign up saying I want to start YouTube and need you to buy me the equipment, please support me, because I don't think you would get much support in return. The Patreon campaign that I'm doing at the moment, I think is a really great way of supporting creators on a monthly basis in return for perks. For you starting out, I think it would be best if you used the equipment that you currently have. So if you've got a smartphone that captures video, or if you've got a compact camera that captures video, and you've got technology around you, or perhaps you could borrow tech and gadgets from maybe friends, family, etc., then start creating the content first, and then build up a viewer base before you sort of start wanting to take things to the next level. And I think that way you'll get a much better response if you do a campaign in the future. I hope that helps. The next one is from Brooksy. Have we reached a point where mobile screens have enough PPI, or what would be the optimal amount without being overkill? Well, I think we've reached that point already. Mobile phone screen resolutions are so high now. I mean, this has got a really high resolution. The Nexus 5 I use has got full HD resolution, and it's at that point where even if you hold the phone right up close to your face, you can't see the individual pixels. So I don't think it needs to be any higher. I think the only room for improvement is not in mobile devices, so in actual desktop monitors. for photography work and video work, but mainly photography, where you really need to get in and see that ultra fine detail. I think resolutions could be improved for that sort of use. Snazzy Gadget Labs asks another question. I will like to buy a NAS drive. Which one do you recommend, QNAP or Synology? Well, I've used both. I've used QNAP in my reviews. I've used Synology for my reviews, but the brand that I stuck with was Synology. And the main reason I stuck with Synology for my use is performance, build quality, and the excellent Disk Station Manager software, which adds on so many features to your NAS. So that would be my recommendation. Next up is from Heidi, or is it Heidi or Heidi? I don't know, but it's at Real Heidi on Twitter. What is your favourite app right now? The one you use every day, except Instagram, Twitter and Facebook? That's really hard. What do I use every day apart from those? The one you've missed off that I do use every day is the YouTube app. Because even though I'm a creator, I like to watch videos as well, and I thoroughly enjoy hitting the like button on great video creation. So I watch a lot of YouTube. So that's probably the app I use most on my iOS devices, for sure. Actually, that's a really good question. I would really be interested to hear what you use the most. So leave me a comment in the comment section below about what app you use most and on what device you use it. Next question is from Faz G. What things do you use daily and why? Wow, that question could take up the whole video. I'm going to tell you the things I use daily. The camera I'm recording on now, I use every single day. It's the Sony RX100 Mark II. My iPhone 5S, I use every single day. My iPad Air, I use every single day. And not every day, but most days I use the Mac Pro or my Mac Mini. Actually, talking to computers, completely forgot. My MacBook Pro, definitely use that every single day as well. 7 days a week, all of those gadgets get used. So, that's it for the first sort of section of questions. I'll be back to you with some more after this short break. Hi everyone, it is now Sunday and I've got some more questions for you. So without further ado, let's take the first one, which is from iDroid Arena. And the question is, how did you get the camera equipment and products to review in your initial days on YouTube? Well, the camera that I used was actually just a family sort of snapper. It was the camera that we used to take photos of the children. Canon PowerShot A80, if I remember correctly. A little 4 megapixel camera. It shot very low resolution video, but I used the tools that I had. It wasn't until probably about maybe 6 months in to doing YouTube that I actually purchased another camera or a better camera. And so that's what I did. It's literally just use the tools that you already have. And that's the advice I give many people that ask, you know, how do I get started in YouTube? I haven't got a professional camera. I often say, well, if you've got a smartphone that shoots 720p video or 1080p video, use that. It's perfectly good enough to get you started. And then you can see whether your content and whether your audience likes your content, what sort of videos you might do in the future. And that might lead you to make a different purchasing decision when you're buying a new camera as well. So I always just say, use what you've got. Great question though. That tech teacher has asked 3 questions. What inspired you to start up Geekanoids? Well, I was a graphic designer at the time. I always advised people on what the best technology was, what computer to buy, what mobile phone to buy. Of course, they were called mobile phones then and not smartphones. And then I started writing about it, and I decided that it was better to actually be able to show somebody a product rather than just sort of write about it. When you're demonstrating something, it's really nice to be able to see it on camera, and that's what sort of moved me across from writing articles to actually making videos. The next question is, what was the most difficult part of launch? Well, there wasn't really a launch. I just started making YouTube videos and was just blown away by the response. You've got to remember that back then, YouTube had only just started, so there wasn't many other channels offering videos, and certainly not many even offering tech videos. I think in the UK, I was probably one of the first to actually start a Tech UK YouTube channel. And then the last question is, what would you recommend smaller YouTubers do in order to become noticed or to become more noticed? That's a difficult question because there are so many people making videos now. What I would say is be individual, be yourself, and that will differentiate you from other people. And then when people see you being yourself and being genuine, they more often than not find that appealing to watch. So that would be my main advice, is just be yourself. Finger Q asks, what do you think about the implementation of fingerprint technology in our electronic devices to improve security? Well, not so keen on it on laptops. On smartphones, there's really only the iPhone 5S and the HTC One Max. I think that's the model that's got the fingerprint sensor on the back. And it depends if it's implemented correctly. For example, on the HTC model, it wasn't that great. On the iPhone 5S, they seem to get it really right. And my general thoughts on it are, yes, it does improve security, and I think it's a great feature. I think the reason it does improve security is not necessarily that it's more secure, but that so many people don't bother putting a passcode or a password on their device. So with the likes of the iPhone 5S, it encourages them to lock their device at least with a fingerprint. And I think in the future, it certainly will become more commonplace, and it's a really good direction for technology companies to go. And then the last question for this weekend Q&A comes from Acoustic Appraisal. What would be the best intro DSLR camera to buy for beginners who want to shoot YouTube videos? Well, there are two different answers to this. I'm going to answer your direct question about DSLRs first of all. For a YouTube beginner, a DSLR that I would recommend would be a budget end Nikon, maybe the D3300 or 3200 or 3100, which are older models, or something like a Canon 550D, 600D or 700D. If your budget allows you to go up to the 700D, you then get autofocus. And that leads me to the second part of this answer, which is it depends what type of video you're doing. If you're doing the type of video where you sit in front of the camera just talking, then DSLR's fine. If you're going to be shooting sort of downwards at products and you're going to be operating the camera, then DSLR's just fine. If you're going to be doing videos where maybe you're talking to the camera and you're moving things closer and further away to the lens, autofocus in DSLRs has only just become usable. With the Canon 700D, that was sort of the breakthrough point where it became effective enough to use a DSLR for videos of that sort. And then the Panasonic DMC G6 that I use, that has got good autofocus as well, so you can still put things closer to the lens and move them away and it autofocuses. But you'll notice in some of my videos that the G6 still takes quite a while to focus. When I put something up close, it will take a while to sort of lock in focus. So if you're doing videos like that and you want to do it a little bit cheaper than maybe a DSLR allows, then maybe look at an entry-level or mid-level Panasonic camcorder or another brand. I prefer Panasonic myself. And you'll pick one of those up for maybe, depending on what model you go for, maybe £250 upwards. You can still buy camcorders nowadays that are like £600–700, but you'll find the autofocus is a lot more responsive, and it just might suit you better for a YouTube camera. Now, the camera I'm using now is the Sony RX100 Mark II, and that is good for all types of videos, but it still does take some time to focus in on an object, so do bear that in mind. And also look at things like, has it got a microphone input? Because as you progress through YouTube, you might want to improve on the camera's built-in audio, and you might want to add an additional microphone, maybe a lapel microphone that sort of goes here, or maybe a Rode Video Mic or Video Mic Pro that sits on top of the camera. So bear that in mind to sort of future-proof your purchase. So that's it for the questions for this weekend. It's been a brilliant weekend for me. Today was my daughter's birthday, so we've gone out for a really nice meal. And it's just been a real fun day, and it's been extra fun because I've had questions to answer about technology, which I absolutely love. Now, in the video description, there are details of how you can get me questions for next weekend's Q&A. Thank you very much for all your questions for this video. I love it that you all take part. Hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the video. If you'd like to watch another amazing video from me, please do click that top box. And if you want to subscribe to my geeky channel, click the red box on the bottom of your screen now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.